Okay, I'm cheating big time. This is the biggest video I have cheated in my videos about tarot decks. All right, hi dear friends, this is Vasi Maisra and hope you are doing great. Today I will be sharing with you so many decks to answer to the video that Kitty Flowers launched about the 10 decks, that the only 10 decks, and of course I won't have only 10 decks for today, that's for sure. However, today, doing this exercise of checking the 10 decks, they they brought me to focus on what my priorities are at the moment, and I'm gonna share that with you. I feel this will be a little bit much deeper for me to share about my priorities and why I have chosen these decks if anything happens. Actually, I have done this exercise a little bit earlier this year because I wanted to sell some of my collection as I am preparing a personal project about a book about Lyme disease, because I have gone through it, and I know how to help myself, and I want to help others to going through this chronic situation. So I'm preparing that book, and I hope it will be launched by the next year. Every time I come to launch it, I have more things to add to it. Just to to let you know that it's a very rich book. That it's gonna be very rich book. Be helpful for any person who has a chronic situation. Anyway, going back to the tarot deck. So I have done this exercise, and I found it really interesting to redo it. I think it would be really nice to redo this exercise kind of like every 3 or 6 months to see what are the priorities and how I am evolving in my practice with tarot decks and oracle decks. Another thing too, just to say, I'm a tarot deck creator. Not tarot, but oracle decks creator. I have an indie tarot and oracle deck shop, and I am an author also of some books related to tarot decks. So, like tarot is one book of my practice and my work. I work with this, so it's like my passion. So please excuse me for the depthness I sometimes add to what I say because this is just who I am. All right, so let's start. All right, let me fix myself like this. All right, so first thing first, my priority, especially for this year, has been to remember who I am, because of the conflictual worldwide situation regarding the health, actual health situation, as you know, political and human rights things and everything. So it has been very, very challenging year regarding that, and I had to remember who I am in order to not forget my principles and forget why I am here, why I came to this planet. And one of the decks that helped me to do this is the Little Monsters Tarot, because as soon as I have connected with this deck, I felt like it's speaking to my soul. It reminds me of my cosmic origins and why I came here, what I came to do. So it's a very, very beautiful deck. It's filled with little monsters, cute monsters, and it's very, very accurate for me. I mean, when I do a reading with it, I just want to journal, because it's really profound, and the guidebook that comes with it is really nice, also very well done. So this first deck will be probably the first of this series of I remember who I am, and that I would love to keep it all the time. Another deck that reminds me of who I am, and it's one of my first tarot decks I had when I started my practice. You see, it's binding, and it's the Victorian Fairies tarot deck, and it's just like those of you who call the soul decks. This I feel is like one of my soul decks. It's profound, it's beautiful, it's just like reminds me of my fairy side also, and of this little world that is more conscious of the earth, of the planet, of nature, and I want to keep that as like as a basis, a solid basis. another deck that I would like to keep with me in the only 10, imagining that it's a very difficult situation and I have to pick all these things. It will be, I'm sorry for this cheating time, but it will be these 3 decks at the same time because I work with them at the same time. And I'm sure maybe if you know my channel, it's not your first time, you probably know that I love these decks by the creator that I forget the name. Did I put the guidebook somewhere? Oh yes, I will write down the name of the guide, was just to not make this video long. But anyway, these decks come all in 3, like there are 3 decks and by the same artist, and they are so much profound, filled with ascended masters, filled with profound messages. Look at this, look at this, look at this. This is who I am. I believe in all this multiplicity of our being and our origins, and this is one of my favorite cards. And also like this this wisdom that is coming from the elders, whether they have really existed or whether they are in the spirit realm. And you see, it's all mixed up. I'm sorry about this, but anyway, it's I do readings with this deck practically every day, and I use it in my readings with my clients, especially if it's something related to life mission, how to modify the posture, inner posture in this world, and also to for those who are living an initiation. Yeah, this I just talked about initiation, and there is illumination coming in. It's just like, I mean, this pack here is one deck for me. I'm sorry. All right, let's get to the last one in this box, or this category of remembering who we are and the basis. Keep the basis to be solid. And of course, you know the Aura Soma. Look at my box. Ay, ay, ay. And this again to remind me of my side, my angelic side, and also the colors. And like, you see, if you live this difficult situation, it's really important to keep your grounding in the earth, but also your grounding in the stars. And in that sense, you are connected from both sides, right? So it's really important to be grounded in order to have a bigger vision of what's happening and how to go through it. So I mean, of course, you know this deck. If you are a tarot collector, it's just like one of the best decks you can have, not only for the art, but for the energy, for the colors, and it's based on the Aura Soma system. I didn't get any training in the Aura Soma training system. I love using this deck as a divination tool, or personal development tool, and using the colors, and also to remember. So this, all right, we finished the first series and I have already showed you 4 decks, well, maybe a little bit more, but this category is done. And then I will go to the category of my work as a therapist, because I imagine if I have to live somewhere and take some decks, well, my being is about therapy and helping people, so I have to take decks that can help, right? Can help others. So in that category, I have like a combo, which is it's the Lioness Oracle deck here. Just remove this so I have space, and my own oracle deck, which is like the shamanic healing with roses and flowers. And I work with these 2 in extreme situation, because I have opened the Roses Temple last year, where I have trained around 25 priestesses, and we work with flowers and roses to bring healing, not only to the feminine but also to the masculine, the wounded woman and the wounded man. and also to bring the vibration of roses back here to the planet, the vibration of higher realms. It's not only about the roses as flowers, but as rays, as principles. Anyway, so this deck is about roses, and there is the lion's energy. There is that both here is just like a beautiful mixture, and they are profound. I mean, like this oracle, this tarot deck is really profound, and I have talked about it. It was made by the artist when her father passed away, and it's like crossing. It's like in the edges of, you know, between the life and death, or between, or in the veils. It's like a veil deck that helps to cross. And the my own oracle deck is like based on flowers and also roses, and it's shamanic, so there are like journeys to do with it, and there are meditations, there are messages with the guidebook for every flower, and also the chakras, because the chakras and how I see them are pretty different from the traditional chakras. There are more that are already opened, fully opened in the clients I meet, and also like they have messages of their own. So these two, I work with them, like, so they must be they must be in the 10. The other two decks that I work with and I cannot be without to help are these two, and I'm bringing them together because they are quite similar. So we have the Victorian Romantic Tarot, which I love so much, and I have ordered the second edition because I work with it a lot. And this one also, which is the I forgot what's the name. Oh my god, it's by Tarotchi Studio. Ancient Art. Oh my god, I'm sorry about the name. I forgot its name, but it's by Tarotchi Studio. I don't keep the box sometimes because I just like use it all the time, but this one I keep it because I want to preserve the cards. It's just like this duality within us, right? Anyway, the two decks are about like this Victorian times, and they have this ancient look in it, and it helps me to I feel like I understand these decks, and it helped me to give accurate reading. Of course, it depends on the clients, and it depends on the type of readings we might give. There are some clients which work better with the Fontaine Tarot, or with the with other decks, like let me see. Oh, well, any decks. I have a lot of decks, so it depends on the clients. But for me personally, if the client does not choose a deck, I will go for this one most of the time, because yeah, it helps me to read. So these two go together. So we just finished the category of helping others and giving readings if anything happens, and then in difficult times, imagine that you have to leave and you have to take few decks with you. You have to consult the decks to get good opinions and to take the good decisions, right? So I'm cheating big time. I know, just be patient with me. Okay, so in order for me to take good decisions, I have to have decks that help me have clarity, right? I'm just laughing about myself. Oh my god. Anyway, so I have to have clarity of mind, and like decks that I can rely on big topics, and these two are my friends for that. So we have, of course, the Spolia Tarot, that I am like a huge fan of it. I have another copy of this deck because it's just too precious for me, and it's so accurate. I have made I think I've made a video of it, and I will try to remember and put it below. But anyway, it's a very, very nice deck for accurate readings, for big decisions, for anything related to cutting, finishing something, starting a new step. Alchemy is just an amazing deck. This one, the White Sanders Tarot, I have shown it before because it's one of my favorite tarot decks. Not only the simplicity of the drawings, but it's the guidebook that comes with it by the creator is just one of the best guidebooks I have seen in the tarot, in the tarot field, to be honest. Very, very, very interesting tarot book. Based on divination, based on like really seeing the future, things like that, which I you know, it's not really my specialty, but it helps sometimes to have that type of readings and have another perspective. So I have it now in my hands, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't use it for a long time. I should get it out, you know, of the closet. But they have so many decks. You don't use, you know, all the decks when you have so many. One of the practices I want to put is to use one deck a day, just to, you know, get them rolling and moving. Okay, let's move to the next step. So I talked about clarity. Now I will talk about energy. When you live a difficult situation, you have to keep your energy clean. You have to remember like the rules of how this universe works. So these are my two decks, of course. I create decks to use them. So I use my decks, and these two come together. I use them most of the time together. This one is about the cosmic laws, and you know, like what are the cosmic laws? I'm forgetting at the moment. What are the emotions behind what I'm living? How can I get beyond them? And it's very reflective deck, which means one of the clients told me, and she added this comment on Etsy. She was like, the more I see these decks, the more I feel like peaceful. And it's about that. It's about cleaning the mind, bringing the clarity to the mind, and remembering like that silence exists, and that there are other things out of our reach. And when we silence ourselves, we might see them. And there are so many aliens. I call them aliens or extraterrestrials in this deck, because you can see them. You can see the faces. Anyway, it's one of the decks I use all the time, and I don't see myself not using these decks together, like to keep myself like clean, because we collect ideas, we collect energies, we collect good and bad things during our daily life. Just watching the news or getting outside, the energy outside, we are collectors. We pick all the time things. So we have to remember that we have to let go also of things, and to remember why we picked them up at the first place, right? So this tool here helps me also to see, okay, what do I need to do today to keep my energies and my vibration high? What do I need to focus on now? And this is really interesting. The blue flame. We did a video about this card in Good Habits for Life, and it's about stepping into your fears and confronting them, to not be their slave anymore. So you invite this blue flame in your universe, and you imagine, you visualize that you are bathing in it, you are really even burning in it, to remove all the fears, all that do not need to exist, does not need to exist anymore in your space. And this dress, like night dress, is about the nightmares, the deep hidden emotions, deep hidden fears that maybe come from our ancestors or our childhood. All right, okay, focus. All right, one other category. So Oh my God, how many things I showed you today? Let me see. So first category, we talked about remember who we are, getting like the stones, the fixed stones or the bases. We talked about being a therapist and what I have to do for others, keeping our energy free and high, getting clarity of mind. And of course, I have to get the Jeopardies deck. This deck I got it this year, and it has been a revelation for me. And it's my how to call it, my herbalist deck. It's really this. This is my herbalist deck. So I'm a naturopath and I'm into herbalism, and I use that to help me deal with the Lyme disease situation and other things. And this deck has been my companion for the plants I take to see what plants would be good, how to. Of course, I don't suggest you do that. Of course, you if you have a therapist or like you have to rely on the health professionals side thing also. But as I'm a professional health practitioner too, I allow myself to do this work. So I consult with the deck to choose the plants, to confirm my choice, and to see the dosage of plants. And I might show that maybe in another time. If you're interested, let me know. I can film an example of how I do things with this deck. But definitely, as I take plants all the time, this is a must. It has to be on my bag, like for sure. And it's the only deck I'm using for this. I have tried others, but it didn't work that much well. This one works like just we understand each other's right away. One last category if I can, okay? Thank you for your patience. One last category is my curious side, that wherever I have, whatever the situation is, I am curious by nature and I want to learn all the time. So one thing I want to learn more and more and more is about this deck and this deck. So this is my learning, teaching category. And this is the Marielle deck, and the deck I have created with it, it's an oracle deck, because I didn't find a good oracle deck that goes with it perfectly. So I have created this one, and it's based on symbols that come from it, but this one is not commercial, or this is really only for me. So the Marielle deck, I studied it like twice, I think. Or 3 times, I don't remember, but I studied it like twice at least. And I study it like using one of the challenges is wait a second, in this book it's called 21 days with to meet with your deck and to live with it. So yeah, what can I say about this deck? it's just like profound without ending, like it doesn't end. Every time you pick it, you study it for months, you still learn about it. The guidebook with it for me is important, and this is the thing, it opens a door within you. It speaks about something really archaic. I don't know, there's something about this deck that is and that I cannot describe. Actually, it's a word in itself. And the other deck that reminds me of this is the thought deck also. The geometry, shapes, the beings that are there, the colors. I want to study this deck. I studied it and I want to study it again and again and again. And it's very good for readings. I don't read with it much now. I feel like, there are these decks that you feel like shy to take, or it's like they are too much. But yeah, I want to study it a little bit more to kind of be its friend a little bit more. And yeah, it reminds me of another one. It's called the Ashra. Yeah, I think it's the Ashura Tarot, something like that. And it's a thought-based deck too. So this one definitely goes to my learning, teaching tool that I would like to have if something happens. Of course, there are so many other decks that I could include here, but these are my choices for today, and I might repeat this exercise within 3 months or so to see where I am, right, and what will change at that time. What are your decks? I know you have done the tag like of 10 decks. Some of you know already what the 10 decks would be. But what about the categories? What categories would you have in your own decks to pick? And how would they help you in your life if anything happens? Because, well, if we take only 10 decks, I believe that, we are obliged to do that, or we are going for a long journey that, takes a lot of us. So, yeah, if not, we would probably take all our decks, right? Anyway, one last thing. There is a workshop. There is a free workshop because we just launched our book, Psychic Self-Defense Kit. This is my preview book, and this book is on Amazon. You can find it easily. But we are having like a free workshop about self-defense, psychic self-defense with Chris and Maggie this Saturday. So you are very much invited. Welcome to be with us to talk about this topic and maybe prospect and see what tools can help you. It's a free workshop. You can subscribe on the link below. So I'm sending you very, very much, a lot of much and everything. Trying to find my right English, but a lot of love, and I hope this video brought you something of value. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.